Hi, friends. Welcome to the Full Heart Podcast. My name is Rebeka, and I am here with my guest, Ana, who's a beautiful, beautiful intuitive healer. She uses psychedelic therapy to help women regulate their nervous system and overcome stress and anxiety. And she just has the most amazing, beautiful, grounding energy. I can't wait for y'all to get to know her. Thank you for being here, Ana.
Oh my God, thank you so much for inviting me, Rebecca. I am all about having deep conversations with women, so I am excited for this.
I'm excited too, and I'm really grateful that you took the opportunity and took the time to come chat with me about this. As you know, we were kind of chatting before about the intention behind this podcast is to really connect women. I personally, I just have had a hard time figuring out success. And like for me, I was a single mom and it was hard to figure out how do I be a mom and have a job, like all this stuff. And now I'm an empty
Yeah.
nester and I thought, let's figure this out. I'm really, really proud of how I parented my kids, and now I get to
Yeah.
go on this next phase. I just want to talk to some amazing women and learn from them. And so, thank you for being part of this journey and sharing your story. To get started, can you
Thank
just tell
you.
us can you just tell us a little bit about your upbringing? Like what was your childhood like?
My childhood. Well, I was abandoned by my mother as an infant, and I grew up with my father who was only 17 years old when I was born. And um, yeah, he just had a lot of trouble, of course, like uh, most of us in this generation. Um, Right, we grew up with parents who were not emotionally present, and that itself is the biggest form of trauma. I think the most common one. It doesn't even have to be a big event, it doesn't have to be something drastic, just for your parents not to be emotionally available and you to feel completely not seen. It was yeah, it was difficult. I feel like I knew from a very young age that I was alone, basically. I felt very on my own, and I feel like that feeling was the root of all my blessings because that made me just go inside so deep. I was so in my bubble and in my being and in this survival instinct that is very heightened and sometimes not the greatest and not the most comfortable one, but it's also the most rooted in our primal, and that just kept me with my spidey senses, you know, very developed. Yeah, so I think that's what really helped me develop my psychic abilities. I believe that everybody, especially every woman, has intuition, has the ability to develop that intuition. The more that we work on it, the more that we harvest the energy, that we listen to ourselves, that we spend time in quietness, the louder that voice it's going to get. And so my childhood was a lot of me being in quietness because, well, I lived with my father who was a narcissist, and I was being just constantly beaten down, and
Mm.
it was just a very aggressive and um, just horrible environment to grow up with. So I couldn't really talk, but that uh yeah, that compromise, that sort of a bubble that I made for myself is really what made me, I feel, grow my ability. So That's what my childhood. I'm from Venezuela. I also come from a family who is noted to be very intuitive, so I think that's also having almost like a music ear. Like I have
Yes.
more than a couple of mystics in my family, so I'm not the only one.
Okay. Tell me a little more about that. That's fascinating. Like, did you find it through aunts, grandparents? Like, how did you discover that lineage?
Sorry. Well, since I was very young, my grandma was like I grew up as a Catholic, as most of the people in my country. So she was a Catholic woman, but not like a very serious one. It was more about yeah, it was more about sorry, I um she had figurines and saints, but she also believed in angels. She just believed in it all. And yes, it was sort of a mystic too. I grew up, my grandma would do basically what we now call Reiki, but back in the days was not Reiki. And wasn't called Reiki, it was just energy healing. And so, yeah, I had ants that read the hands, and just things like that. And it was just part of like a normal thing. But I didn't even pay that much attention to it, really. I didn't really pay much attention. I was just living my life and it was cool, but um I didn't care for it that much. I felt like I tapped into my gifts and I learned to recognize them a little bit later on in life.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering because it sounds like since you grew up with it, it was just kind of like, oh, that's just what they do. Like when you're a kid and you're just around it, you don't realize uniqueness of something until you leave that environment and come back and realize how like not everybody has an aunt who reads palms and or believes in angels. So, do you remember when you started connecting to your own intuition and the mystical side of everything?
I remember since I was very small, I could always tell that I had a little bit more insight than the people around me. I could instantly tell that because I was tuned into feelings, moods, just energetics, and I could understand already that people were not looking that way. And so I could remember that, and I also remember that that I could whenever I closed my eyes, I could see images, and I didn't know what that was, but I could see things that I had never seen in my physical world, and just yeah, almost like movies kind of going on. So I remember that very clearly.
Okay, that's fascinating. Did it turn out to be any kind of like psychic vision or connection to somebody? Like, do you, what was
Yeah,
that?
I don't really know what's going on, what
Okay.
was going on at that exact moment, but yeah, I can imagine I was just reading energy, which I do right now, but I'm more aware of. So whenever I read energy, I just kind of see images, feel things and sensations. Um, but my daughter is sending me messages, and I'm like, please, I'm not. And she just doesn't stop. Um, so,
The kids always know when
and
you're
it's,
busy.
uh-huh.
The kids always know when you're busy. It's like,
I know. And so yeah, I feel like it would there were probably visions. I was reading energy, but I didn't really know at that moment. I think that after I went through some um I got a little bit older and got into healing more layers, and I had to be in a relationship with a narcissist again. You know how life puts you like boom right there. It brings it to you so that you can heal it. And I feel like that was my biggest awakening when I really felt my body burning up, my traumas just really coming alive, and then I was sure. I started connecting with my grandfather who had passed, and just everything kind of woke up for me. I started going to like medium circles, and I was like surprised at myself because they would put us in group. There were pairs, which I now do the workshops like that. There were pairs with people, and I would just instantly be able to read people, and I didn't really know that I could do that before. So I was just talking, and they were like, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "Yeah," like okay. Yeah, so
That is amazing. So how does this all play into what you do now? Tell us about your services now and what you do.
yeah, I think that after I got comfortable with my gifts, I started doing more readings, and as I saw more and more people, I kind of got bored of it because I was like, but like, where am I going from this, from just like reading people, and then what? So I wanted to help people more. I've always had that teaching thing inside of me. I love teaching. I love explaining things. And so, yeah, I started um, also teaching yoga. I got certified as a yoga meditation and breathwork instructor, which helped me open up my throat chakra a lot. And because I had to basically teach every day, and it really helped me, yeah, open up those wounds that from growing up with a narcissist, I was very quiet because I was taught to be quiet, to not be talk about the abuse that was going on in my house. And and so yeah, now I get to teach yoga. I get to teach people how to regulate their nervous system. I do intuitive healing therapy sessions on Zoom, which is basically kind of like traditional therapy, but on steroids, because I use mainly my intuition to really uncover what's going on right now. I feel it's the natural way. And also I teach people how to regulate their nervous system so that they can have that as a tool for healing. It's like once you learn how to make yourself feel good, how to um regulate so you don't have to cope with the pain, it is easy to heal yourself, because we kind of have to learn to be self-healers. We have to self parent ourselves, and we have to do it all and just expand.
Well, especially as like firstborn daughters, right? We come in
Yes,
to kind of break patterns, and so we have
yes,
a lot of work to do.
for
Okay,
sure.
this is this is super fascinating, and I'm curious. I didn't think of this before. It's just when you were talking, and you were talking about the intuitive way that you help people, and it all just sounds so beautiful. And I'm curious if you would be open to doing like a little mini thing, but I don't want to seem like I'm trying to like take advantage of anything. I just thought it would be interesting to see like how, like a little snippet of how you do what you do. Because I feel like this, whatever audience I acquire, like I'm very spiritual and I believe in all this. So I think a great majority of people will just understand like yes, intuitive gifts, but also intuition is so personal. Like, what does your intuition pull out of things? You know what I mean? So anyway, would you be open to doing like a little mini thing so we can experience your gifts in this?
Like to read you right now?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is that too much? Is that putting you on the spot? 'Cause if it is, it's fine. If you're like, no, I don't want to do it.
I don't know if I'm ready for that right now. I want to connect with you on a deeper, but what do you want to know about? Let's see what comes out. Let's see if something I don't know. Let's see.
Well, when I was reading through your Instagram and you talked specifically about overcoming stress and anxiety, I was like, oh, that hits because I feel like this anxiety ball just like lives in my sacral chakra all the time. I've just had to
Yeah.
make friends with it, but also, um, I do feel like it affects my connection to money and to just my relationship to people in general. I don't know if there's anything pulling out of that, just general anxiety.
Yeah. I think that's a very common um thing right now, and it's not even I believe it's not just you, it's a lot of women right now. It's really a big collective because we're shedding this layer of conditioning at this moment, and this is happening like globally right now, and it's such a beautiful thing to watch, where we're just shedding these layers of conditioning of self-sacrifice that we have done, that we put everybody before us as mothers, you always know, and you create, and you have this, you inherit this guilt and this shame about everything. The guilt is a big, it's a big theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it, it's a big layer to heal. So I think that it's normal for you to feel that pain. I think that it's a matter of regulating, of just like really breathing and also moving the body
Mm.
consistently for you to shake off that energy, because I feel like the consciousness is already there. The consciousness of what you feel like you can do, the and you're connected pretty much with the knowledge that the abundance is all around us, and it's just about getting in that alignment to really tap into that energy. I feel like you're already connected to that energy. Um, but just being able to breathe and bring it out of your body, just moving the body a little bit and breathe into presence, and just kind of like repeat affirmations of safety. Um, so that you can yeah, just adjust the subconscious a little bit and letting it go, because I can tell it's an energy that it's already leaving. It's like we're taking it off. We're all doing the same thing. We're kind of like taking it off and ready to rise free and without guilt.
Mm. Okay. Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for your perspective on that and for sharing what you did. I totally see the collective aspect of it as well, just like you were bringing up. There are so many women waking up. This is part of why I love social media. I have a love-hate relationship with it, but to see so
Yeah.
many women sharing their stories now and talking about similar things, about releasing the guilt, about moving into their own autonomy and authority instead of focusing on being a wife and a mom. And there's just so much movement happening. And I hear a lot about moving to more of a divine feminine and just the collective energies. When I look at human design and astrology and numerology, they all are saying we're on the cusp of a huge shift. Things are going to be very different very soon. It's so fascinating.
Yeah.
And what you were saying, okay, I found it really interesting how you called out, like I do have that awareness that abundance is everywhere. And it's literally just there. I have these little micro moments of, oh, God's got me. The universe has got me. Like it's fine. I don't have to be
Yeah.
part of this system to be taken care of. But then it's still
Yeah.
like it's still working its way through because then the next thought is like,
Yeah.
but all this other
Yeah. It's kind of like a residue from the like the sticky stuff in the bottom of the pot.
yes,
You
yes,
know that it's there and it's like you gotta kind of take it off and you gotta just like breathe into it and move the body a lot to just kind of
yes. Just
yeah,
literally
shake
shake
it
it off.
out. Yeah.
I like that visual of residue because that is how it feels energetically. It feels like, but I've always been here keeping you safe. What are you going to do
Yeah.
without me? It's like it's scared in a way.
Yeah.
So it's just really fascinating, the energetics of it. So I really appreciate you sharing all your thoughts on that. What is the most common thing that people come to you for? Have you found a theme in your clients?
Most of it is childhood trauma. I have just very diverse, I guess, kind of people that come to me, but I love it. I love going into, yeah, I love people helping people with their childhood trauma. I think that is big for me, and I feel like it always manifests in the same way, even the different kind of traumas. And so, yeah, just seeing the people just rise up and be able to build yourself from within. Because when you go through trauma, you don't really have a sense of self. You've most likely lived, if you lived like with a narcissist, you completely had to have your attention outward for survival. So a lot of people grow up and without a sense of self, especially if nobody was ever asking you, how do you feel? How are you? And just simple things like that. So, yeah, just getting yourself back and building your identity again from within, just seat in the soul and be able to reparent yourself and understand who you want to be. What who is this person, this healed new person that I am embodying? You
Okay, now I know why the universe brought us together because everything you're saying is literally stuff I've been journaling about and really working through for myself. And it's
know.
really fun and really fascinating. The inner child work blows my mind. It's so wild how impactful it can be. It makes sense. Like, I just think it's so beautiful that you really had such a traumatic childhood and you were able to really alchemize that and turn it into something beautiful and to share that love with other people. That feels like a superpower. That's really beautiful.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. For me, it was a thing of a choice. Seriously, I think that when I was young, I was in so much pain that I remember that exactly. I just remember being in the moment where I like asked myself, I either have to find a way to end my life, literally like that, like I want to end the pain, or I have to go all in and try my hardest. And I was too much of a chicken to kill myself. So I had no choice but to go hard at my healing. But I feel like I always just had it within me, that those little strings of like being a teacher, the interest for just understanding the human mind. And I was always into psychology books. When I was 15 years old, I started working as a receptionist for a psychologist, and I started reading so many books there too and learning so much. So just understanding humanness and understanding my own pain gave me a big spectrum, I think, to understand others.
Absolutely. I keep getting the image of a phoenix whenever you're talking. Like,
Uh,
started as a kid, have to end, but it's so that you could rise up stronger and wiser. So, how
Mhm.
would you define success now?
I think success is in the ability for you to enjoy life regardless of what's going on at the moment, and just, yeah, love and accept yourself and see this life also as the journey that it is, that it's just a journey, almost like a video game. And you when once you find yourself and you see yourself as a creator, you you learn to play the game a little better.
Yes. Okay, I think that's such a nourishing definition. And I feel like this is another intention behind this podcast is to talk about different definitions of success because like we mentioned before, we're moving into a new era and we've long had this definition based on capitalism and patriarchy and really how men show up and having the 9 to 5 and the consistent work ethic and go 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 and all of this and how much money you have in the bank. And I just can't help but look around and think there's so much more. So I love your definition saying that success is enjoying this life and loving yourself, like really finding that success and that love and that joy and fulfillment within. Because that feels so beautiful and nourishing and so much more impactful than the previous definition that I think we were fed.
Yeah, by like the media and the and the Matrix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. That has been such an interesting thing unpacking all of the messaging because sometimes I think so I was born in 81, I graduated high school in 2000, like just to give a time frame of my thinking. And I got engaged 2 weeks after high school and married at 20 and sometimes I think why? Like who let that happen? But I go
Yeah.
back and I watch some of the TV shows at that time or the movies and that was happening in those TV shows.
Yeah, we were
It's
fed this sort of checklist of things. And when you think back, it's like, well, now you have children. It was good, it is what it is and it's beautiful, but you can't help but think like, what if I didn't have that programming?
right, right.
Would I have lived my life different or maybe a little longer, right? Or just enjoy life a little longer. Who knows?
Ifs, but we're here where we are now, and it's
Yes, and it's beautiful because this age is the best age where, you
yes,
have the poise, the wisdom. The children are not as little anymore, and we still have more life within
I
us.
mean, I'm loving it. Talk about messaging. Everybody are talking about how life ends at 40 and you're over the hill and all of this. And all of my other moms, because my youngest just went to college this fall, and so all of his friends' parents are just freaking out. And I'm literally like, look, my kid's ready to go. Like he's excited. I'm excited to figure myself out. And like you said, we have the poise and everything now, the wisdom, the age and the years behind us. I'm like, man, the women were keeping a secret. Like, this is great. Getting older is great. I love
Yes,
it.
for sure. For sure, it is. It is. It's like we said before, you know how to play the game of life a little better. You have a lot more confidence. You're just sitting on your spirit a little more. And we have the experience that you cannot AI the experience.
You
It
cannot.
cannot be
And
cloned.
you can't chat GPT the intuition either. So,
Yes, exactly.
mm-mm.
I
Okay.
love
Well,
that.
um, two more questions. So,
Yeah.
one. This podcast is named the Full Heart Podcast because it's based off the mission of my business. I had a meditation. I had this vision where when when I fill my heart so full of love, and I just choose to love myself so much that it overflows, and that love just pours out to other people, and it helps them
Mhm.
fill their heart so full of love that it overflows, and then that's how we heal the world, is one full heart at a time. And
Oh, I
so
love that.
my question to you is, what fills your heart? What brings love and joy to your life?
Love and joy. Honestly, I think that just my daughters and my dogs.
Yes.
Yes, that's what gives me just so much love and joy. I've always been a very yeah, solo individual, and I created this little family for myself, and um yeah, I'm just so glad that I get to raise my daughters in a higher consciousness than I was raised, and we have created this beautiful, deep, love and bond that is just healing on its own.
I mean, that's amazing. To I can only imagine how it feels for you to give your daughters such a present and deep childhood. Um, Such a contrast to what you experienced. How old are your daughters?
My daughters are 22 and 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Okay. My kids are 21 and 18, so close.
Yes. My oldest daughter is actually in Texas. She's in Houston. Yeah.
Oh, what is she doing in Houston?
Well, she's there with her dad, and she's starting to work. So she works at the little jewelry and, just finding herself. And the
Oh, that,
little one's still with me.
yes. Oh, fun. Fun. And what kind of dogs do you have? I need to know about the dogs.
I have a German Shepherd and Boxer who's coming to me right now. She's my rescue German Shepherd and Boxer, and I have a pit bull too.
Wow.
Yes, and there's so much love, just so beautiful, but they're also our protectors and
Yeah.
in spirit and the physical world too.
Dogs are the best. They're so great. Well, all pets are. So
Yes, it's
that's
so
wonderful.
healing. Yes, my pit bull is like my cuddle therapy.
Oh, okay. Every pit bull I've come across has been the sweetest. I know they get a bad rap for
Right?
whatever reason,
Yes,
but oh my gosh.
I know. People think they're like aggressive, but they're not at all. They're all such teddy bears.
They are. They are. But I can imagine like it would be nice to have one because then if you're out and people are intimidated by the pit bull, like fine, stay away.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I have two beautiful daughters, and so I have my dogs just in case.
Yeah, good call. Okay, well, I feel like I learned so much from you, not only from your words, but from your
Oh,
energy. Just to be grounded in myself and to move around, move that old stagnant energy around, let it fall off, let it go. Trust myself, trust the intuition. So I can only imagine, just from this one conversation, I can only imagine how nerve.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, well, you can find me on my Instagram. I'm on Instagram and on TikTok as Ana Guarisma, my name, or you can on my website is www.risewithanna.com. Yeah, I have a beautiful Telegram community, everything, all of the information you can find on my Instagram. It's Divine Downloads, where I send voice notes to my people about the energy and what's going on around. And yeah, I also do psychedelic therapy, and I have a retreat coming up for the new year. It's a New Year 2-day plant medicine immersion. So we get to do psychedelic therapy one day. The day of my arrival, we do cacao. That's also my thing, the cacao ceremonies. And yeah, we do it all. We do the yoga, breath work, meditation before the psychedelic therapy. So you can just go into the therapy with an open heart already and feeling light. And then we have an integration session after. So it's a beautiful healing space. It's like an immersion for you to just go and be ready to drop the load, drop the baggage, and like leave like a different person, because the medicine is so beautiful that you feel it instantly. You carry it on for months, and it just resets your nervous system. So it makes you feel just lighter and yeah, more calm, more grounded, more connected to nature and source energy. Yes, yes, I do it as soon I keep doing them. I just keep getting people, and I'd be just like, okay, let's do it this month. Let's do it this. Yeah, we just keep going. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. This has been beautiful. I'm glad and just so grateful to be able to connect with your community and yes, and to share with all of you. Thank you so much. Sending you so much love.